Cox from Emotion at Work here, and today I'm going to talk about three things. I'm going to talk about authenticity, identity and credibility, and how those three things come together. Now, a lot of what I'm interested in, a lot of what I read about, a lot of what I've studied over time has come from my own personal experiences and personal practice. So I wanted today to tell you about a story about how these three things really kind of interacted and actually made life quite difficult, quite challenging for me. So this was when I got the opportunity to apply for, and I was successful in achieving the role of a training team leader. So I've been a trainer for a number of years, been peers with a lot of trainers, and then I became the manager or the leader of that team. And some advice I was given on when I got the job was to say, right, Phil, you've got to be different now. You can't be like you were before. There has to be this professional gap between you and the members of your team. And what that means is that you can't socialise with them in the way that you used to. You can't go out drinking with them anymore. You can't interact with them in the way that you did. You have to have this kind of professional distance and this professional boundary. So I was like, okay, well, I've never been a manager before. I don't know any different, so I'll listen to that. And then I was looking around at other managers and what they did as well, and I was thinking, okay, well, if that's what good managers do, or if that's what people who get promoted in this organisation do, then therefore I need to be like that. So I need to take these bits and these bits and these bits and these bits. And I almost kind of put this together to be like a new version of me where I was just stealing stuff from other people. And I remember that I found that really, really tiring. I found it a very exhausting process in terms of having to work so hard to try and behave in a way that wasn't in line with who I felt I was, and what my values and approaches were at that particular time. And I remember that there was a walk up a slope to get into the office, and at the top of the slope there was this archway. And as I would walk through that archway, it almost like the shroud would kind of come down and over me, and it would create a different Phil, the training team leader Phil that needed to walk into the office. And when I then went in, I was different. I had this distance, I had this professional kind of boundary. I wasn't as I didn't have as much fun. I wasn't as relaxed. I wasn't as comfortable. I didn't talk with my team in the same way. And then what happened a few months later is a social event, actually, at a barbecue. I remember kind of being really professional, and then I remember my team sitting me down and saying, you know what, Phil, you've got your head stuck so far up your own arse. I'm amazed that you can see what's going on around you. When you got promoted, we were so excited. We were like, yes, come on, we've got someone who can manage us and lead us, who understands what we do, understands the context that we have to work in, understands the difficulties and the challenges that we have, and you can really understand that, and you care about us, and you want to develop us because that's something you do at the moment. So we're so excited. And then since then, you've just been a bit of a knob, really. You're distant, you're disengaged, you're different to how you were before. You don't seem to want to support or help us anymore. And can we have the old Phil back, please? And I remember both that evening and then when I got home later thinking, wow, what have I been doing? I've been acting in a way that I find exhausting. I've been acting in a way that is kind of annoying and alienating my team. And if it's not working for them and it's not working for me, then why on earth am I doing it? So that then prompted a big change for me. So I then started to go back to what I would normally do. So when things would happen, rather than me going, oh, I want to do that, and then stopping myself, I'd let that run and let that happen. Or rather, when an individual was having a particular difficulty, one of my values that I know I'm really clear about now is I almost care too much. So I want to help and support others as much as I can, and in a way that kind of puts me at risk sometimes. But I knew that actually this was a big part of who I am, and this is what makes me who I am, so therefore I want to go with it and do it. And that was just so much better. I found it better for me, better for my team, and the workplace that I was in, the context that I was in, allowed that to happen. So once I was able to sit down and go, right, this is the type of leader I'm going to be, this is the type of manager that I'm going to be. How does that work for you, team? Team were like, yes, we want that, please. How does that work for you, my boss? Yes, that's okay, Phil. Okay, well, let's just crack on and do it then. And I think the challenges around these three things about identity, authenticity and credibility, when they come together, can make life difficult. Because for me, I was being credible, but I was being inauthentic. I was being credible, but I was acting out of kilter with who I am and my values and my beliefs. And a lot of what we do in the workplace is informed by others, and our credibility, we can be those credible, authentic and identity aspects can't always necessarily work in equal thirds. and sometimes one might overcome or subsume another, or one might be more dominant at a particular time. And the challenge for us as practitioners, the challenge is for us as managers and leaders, the challenge is us for individuals, to be able to consistently reflect on, what am I doing right now? Is it consistent with how I see myself? Is it consistent with how I want others to see me? Am I being authentic with who I am? And if so, how are all those things coming together? So I wanted to share today an experience of how, for me, authenticity, identity and credibility can come together, how they can interact, and actually how that can make life both really difficult and that can make life really enriching for an individual as well. So I hope that's been interesting, I hope that's been useful. Please leave any comments if you want to on the video below, and thanks very much for watching.